Hey everyone, Chris here, aka the Darktoylord. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'm happy to have you here. So continuing on with our Rick and Morty action figure series, here we have Mr. Meeseeks. I actually just watched this episode the other day. I can't even tell you how many times I've seen it, but just wanted to refresh my memory because remember these guys being hilarious, and they still are. So anyway, this is the, I think 6-inch, probably closer to 5-inch figure. From Funko. We'll do an exact measurement once we get them out of the package. Other characters in the series, we have Rick, Morty, Mr. Meeseeks, Mr. Poop and Butthole, Bird Person, and then each figure comes with a part to Snowball in his mech suit, and it's kind of like a build-a-figure set. So without further ado, let's go ahead and open this up. We'll take a closer look at the action figure and take it from there. So let's go ahead, we'll take a look at Mr. Meeseeks' packaging first. Same backer card that you have with the rest of the figures in the series. We have a portal in the background with Rick and Morty popping out of it. Here we have Mr. Meeseeks sealed in his plastic tray. Action figure right here. This looks to be Jerry's putter. And he has a gun right here. It's hard to see, but there's a handgun right there from when Mr. Meeseeks wanted to kill Jerry. And then here is the accessory for Snowball in his mech suit. Spin this around to the back, and much like the other ones, here are all the other characters in the series. Rick, Morty, Mr. Meeseeks, Mr. Poopy Butthole, Bird Person, and then Snowball with all parts combined. So let's go ahead, we'll open this up and we'll take a closer look at the action figure itself. Alright, let's go ahead and take a closer look at the accessories first. So if you don't remember the episode, essentially Rick had offered Mr. Meeseeks, or the Meeseeks box, up to the family to help with menial tasks around the house. Now, Jerry's task was to help Mr. Meeseeks help Jerry take 2 swings off his golf game. And so this, I'm guessing, is in fact Jerry's putter. And then when Mr. Meeseeks failed to help Jerry take 2 swings off his golf game, he requested help from other Mr. Meeseeks. And then it was a whole crowd of them. And at the end of the episode, when it seemed as though Jared would not learn how to take those 2 swings off of his golf game, Mr. Meeseeks went insane and tried to kill him. And this is the little pistol that is packaged with a toy. And then also included with the toy is that Build-A-Figure piece. So this is one of the legs for Snowball's mech suit. I'm Mr. Meeseeks, look at me! Alright, now that I've tortured you with that bad impersonation of Mr. Meeseeks, let's go ahead and get a measurement on this guy. So here's my tape measure. And he stands just about 5 inches tall. Here's a close-up of the face sculpt here for Mr. Meeseeks. You can see his little hairdo up top. No, not all of them had the hair in the cartoon, but this one does. Big smile on his face. Back in a time when things were happy and simple, before they all went batshit crazy. Let's check the articulation. His head swivels side to side. Both shoulders are swivels as well as hinges. The elbows are hinges. The arms aren't perfectly straight. So I mean they can get like a 90-degree bend right here, but they don't go perfectly straight when you unfold them. The wrists swivel 360 on both sides. There's no waist articulation. You can see the torso and the hips, they're all one solid piece. The hips here are both swivels and hinges. And he seems to have a greater range of motion than the other characters that I've reviewed so far. The other ones seemed a little bit hindered based on their pelvis area, but this guy can pretty much get into like a sitting position. His knees are hinges and bend 90 degrees. And then his feet swivel side to side. Both the head and the torso are hard plastic. where the arms and legs and feet, they're a little bit more softer plastic material. Here's Mr. Meeseeks with the accessories in his hands. And they do actually hold pretty snugly, so I'm not sure. I don't think that this one, there's much of a concern of the accessory just popping out of the hands and getting lost. They seem to be pretty snug. And there you have it. Rick and Morty, Mr. Meeseeks action figure by Funko. Now this one, I really do like Mr. Meeseeks. That was one of my favorite episodes in the show. So I'm thrilled that he has an action figure now. Definitely recommend picking him up. Actually, I recommend grabbing the whole series just because it's Rick and Morty and they're awesome. So if you have any questions at all, let me know down below. As always, please remember, comment, like, and subscribe. And until next time, we will talk to you later.